Good day everyone, and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And this week, finally, the Atlas of War has launched, but before it launched, the GGG decided to tease us a bit more, and it showed the 4 new divination cards which have been added with the expansion. First one, it's 16 stack cards, that's pretty long, and gives the Eyes of the Great Wolf, which is a unique coming from the Talisman League. There's also the Oath, giving of course Death Oath, and yeah, this item's pretty good. There's also Scavenger, giving a Carcass Jack, another pretty damn good item. I don't know where these cards drop, but I'm gonna guess they are all pretty rare. And the Void is a new special unique, and apparently we're not sure still what it does, but it seems to be pulling one item randomly from like all of the items, or there's also another theory that it actually takes a set of divination cards and automatically turns them in, so you have a random chance at something really awesome. But obviously, it's probably going to be garbage like most of the times, because let's be honest, it's not gonna happen. And we also got the challenges, which of course now are live, but we can take a quick look at those. Again, they start from really easy challenges, like combine 3 essences, that's extremely easy. Completing normal quests, extremely easy. Killing normal act bosses, of course, extremely easy. And then it goes down. Killing 500 rare monsters, also extremely quick. I expected it to be harder. But, of course, there are some challenges that are harder. Although it looks like they are kind of easier than the previous league, there are still some we don't really know how they work, like read memory fragments. We still don't know what this is, but again, there's the usual complete twin-end maps, only 10 out of 15. Identify rare items, this is just because these are new item bases, so this is kind of interesting, seeing the new bases make it into the game. Again, there's the new redeeming divination card sets. I might be wrong, but I think these cards are a little bit cheaper than usual, although still pretty costly. Completing unique maps, there's a couple new unique maps in here, like Hallowed Ground, and what was the other one? The Putrid Cloister, so that's an interesting one. Should not be too hard, definitely requiring some currency there. Anyway, going down to exploring at least 100 different maps on the Atlas, I think that's pretty doable, even if you're not like a top tier player. Killing Guardian of the Void, you can just get carried. Killing the Shaper, that's starting to get quite hard, especially on hardcore. I wonder when we will actually see the first Shaper kill on hardcore. That's going to be really interesting. Hopefully it's not some bullshit kill like the first time Uber Ziri was killed on hardcore, where the one who killed her just respect like half of his tree and went from Cyclone to Spectral Throw. I think that was a bit of retarded, even though it was pretty good. And the last, the crazy challenge again, 3 endgame grinds that you have to complete. There's like 60 times the endgame labyrinth, 30 times the core boss, 30 times other bosses, any Val Temple boss, just 12, but you have to think there's 3 of them in the room, and the map is tier 16 now, so pretty damn crazy. Anyway, I think the 36 challenges are going to be pretty easy. 36 challenges will net you the new Ice Portal. I don't remember how it's called, probably Essence Portal, I guess. It's this triangle thing over here. Completing 24 challenges is the back attachment. It's just, I don't know, it's okay-ish, I guess. And the footprints for the normal footprints for the 12 challenges. So if you're someone like me who enjoys challenges, there's definitely something to do in the game. And also, of course, since the game updated, there are also the patch notes, and this came out a couple days before, and GGG continued to add more things. Some notable things: people went really crazy about the gem balances. Custom Crit now has half a second cooldown per skill, and it works basically the way it works is it will spam less, but it has also a more multiplier in the spell damage, so it will cast less but it will deal more damage, so it's better for performances, and it should still be playable just like it was before, a bit differently maybe, but still it's definitely not dead. Custom melee kill also has a very little cooldown due to people abusing the killing of the worms from the writing jar flask. Also, spells that were actually buffed because you can't spam them anymore with Custom Crit. Fireball 50% more damage, which is a lot. Ice Spear 70% more damage, which honestly it's pretty crazy. Arctic Breath 35% more damage, pretty damn good. Also, a slew of kind of buffs for melee skills, but it's only buff in damage, and people went crazy about this because melee skills mostly don't need the damage buff but kind of a mechanical buff, so it kind of spawned the meme that this is a buff, because GGG had to specify that some of those were actually buffs. So yeah, there's that. Also, the poison does not stack anymore with mines, and the mines work with Bladefall like it should have worked always, so the Bladefall starts from the mine and does not start on the head of a monster. So poison, Bladefall, mines has been nerfed, hopefully into just the right place. It's definitely still strong, poison is definitely still strong, so you should not worry too much about that, but hopefully it doesn't just trivialize every content with just a couple mines. Also, for players above 96, or rather above 95, going to the level 100, there's an XP penalty again, just to keep the race for 100 a bit longer. I don't think there's many players racing too hard this time. Definitely some of the top tier streamers from the past are not there and are playing World of Warcraft instead. But anyway, these leagues, Zana mods, are going to be Invasion, Beyond Anarchy, Torment, Perandus, making its return for just 4 Chaos Orbs, having 3 chests in every map and a chance for Cadaver to spawn. So if you're lucky, you might get an Headhunter, because there is no league for chancing Headhunter this time, and I'm glad it is like that, because personally I don't like Headhunter, but that's just my opinion. Ambush, definitely a good league for Chaos Orbs. Adding 3 strong boxes is for the level 8 though, so you will have to farm your Zana if you want to get there. And of course, a million bug fixes. Sadly, the channel skills that were promised, or rather were teased, 2 of them are not ready, so they didn't make it into the game. GG decided if they're not good enough, better not put them in, and I think that's a smart choice, especially because we already have a lot to play with this new update. And Incinerate, Flame Blast and Wither are now channeled, which means you spend mana once and then to cast it, and then you spend mana to sustain the channel, instead of spending mana every time to cast. It's just a different way to what it was before. I don't think there's pretty much any different, except maybe if you're using a Skull's Bridle, you might not, it might not work anymore, because you're spending mana for the channel skill instead of casting. I don't know, I'm not gonna try that, I don't have the items, so have fun with that if you want. On a side note, Null's Inclination, the unique Summoner's Bow, is not affected by the custom crit changes, otherwise it would have completely died and be forgotten. Other than that, there's been just a few Ascendancy skill changes. The only changes to the passive trees. So first up, Unrelenting from the Juggernaut has a 20% chance to gain maximum endurance charges. When you generate an endurance charge, it was 100%, and I guess it was a bit too strong, especially for self-cast discharge. Way too easy to get like 10 charges or more and just discharge everything. Shaper of Desolation from the Elementalist has been changed to be on a 14-second cycle. You do not need to kill anymore, it just cycles for 4 seconds through each of the status ailments, and then for 2 seconds it has all. So it seems to be pretty good as well, even though people complain about it. And Inevitable Judgment, the one from the Templar, is not working anymore against players. Probably it was way too strong. Prophecy is also in the game, although of course the coin rate is much lower than the previous leagues. Other than that, if you have an item filter and you still need to update it, in this thread there are all the new names and classes and things that you need to add. Of course, since this thing is now public, if you were using a previous item filter, be sure to check the specific thread out because they are all updated, and that's pretty nice. I really like how people are actually putting a lot of time into making these great filters. And also, of course, since the launch was pretty big, as in there was a lot, and I mean a lot of players trying to log in, the servers obviously had problems. I don't think there's been any time where the servers didn't have problems on launch. So yeah, GGG obviously worked really hard and fast to fix it, and eventually did. There doesn't seem to be any more problems, except maybe a random disconnection here and there. So GGG is probably now just working on fixing the remaining issues. And well, last thing is the new RNG box. A lot of cool things, a lot of new microtransaction and a lot of old ones. Either way, you're going to end up with a lot, and I mean a lot of copies of the same items, so good luck to you if you so choose to spend, and thanks for actually contributing to keep Path of Exile alive. Other than that, that was all for this week. I've been your host Zorzo, and I'll see you guys the next time.